When whiskey meets gaming, let's get into it. Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whisky. My name's Vin PF, and on today's episode we've got a weird whiskey and gaming concoction, which is the Ballantines and Borderlands Moxxi kind of surround thing. But in any case, if it's your first time here, make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button for more whiskey content just like this. It's been a minute since I covered something like this. The last time I did it was this one here, the Fateful White Walker, which I've said quite clearly is absolute trash, and it is, but we'll see if this one is as we get into it. What we've got then today is this, the Ballantine's Finest, and as you can see from this livery on it, this is the Borderlands, and they're calling it the Moxxi's Bar Edition. This is part of a collaboration between Gearbox and Ballantines. I don't know where that's going to lead since then, but they're kind of alluding to the fact there's going to be more things coming out. But this one here first released in April 2022, and it sold out within a day. I would have got it there and then if I could, because of the relative success of the White Walker video. It's always good to cover these things when they get a bit more mainstream. But missed it, and then it came out again, so I thought, yeah, I'll take the punt. This cost me 23 quid. I thought I'll give it a go and see if it's any good. Worst case scenario, I've got another dud bottle on my shelf, or best case scenario, I've got a fairly drinkable whiskey. But we'll get into it and see where we've got. The other thing of note of this as well is that you're supposed to be able to get a reward if you scan this QR code on the back. Don't know what that does. I have played Borderlands. I played the Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, whatever they called it, but I never played Borderlands 3, so I'll be honest, I found it a bit boring and repetitive by the end of it, but it was a good thing to play co-op. So yeah, this one here released originally in-game, they said, so you could get this as a part of a drinking game, and they've got this whole like slew of cocktails that you can make with this, and then obviously they released this to the world. Now, I've got the glass over here ready to go, so we'll have a look to see what we've actually got in there. The only thing I couldn't disseminate online is if this is actually a individual whiskey or not, or if it's just a rebranded Ballantine's Finest. I'm going to lean towards the latter on that, because if you look on their official website, the tasting notes for Ballantine's Finest and this and some of the other special editions of Finest like the Shauna X, they're all the same. The tasting notes are exactly verbatim the same, so I'm going to go with a rough assumption this is just the same as the Ballantine's Finest, and it's just been given one of these horrendous plastic surrounds, which I hate, but you know, it is what it is. Let's get into it and see what we've got. I mean, it's 40% and it's definitely added colour, so I won't go into the colour of it all, but there you go, if you're interested in seeing it. I don't talk about colour on this unless I see the words no added colour, but let's get onto the nose. Okay, immediately nothing really offensive about it. It's light, it's malty, it's biscuity, it's indicative of a very young grain. You know, I mean, there's a whole heap of whiskies in this blend. We don't know the exact recipe, but it's meant to be something like 40 different whiskies. They're going to be different, you know, there's going to be some single malts in there, there's going to be some grains, probably a high proportion of grains, but I can't see this being any more than 3 years old. There might be a few liquids in there that are a bit older, but whatever. But yeah, it's an unoffensive nose. Bordering on okay. I wouldn't call it pleasant, but it's okay. Let's try on the palate. Now it's yeah, I mean, they go on about kind of red apples and vanillas, and alright, fine, I can be convinced about all of that, but I kind of wouldn't want to give it that many bonus points. It's perfectly drinkable. It starts out quite light, but it gets a bit rough towards the end. You know, those youthful grains really shine their ugly flavours towards the back end of it. And the finish is kind of really short-lived and leaves you with a kind of oaky, sour note at the back end. You know, that said, it is perfectly drinkable, and that's more than I could say for this wee beastie here. This was not drinkable at all. In fact, they recommended you freeze it to get an icy reveal, but that actually meant that it's just hiding naff whiskey. This one here it's not naff whiskey. It's very drinkable whiskey. I'm beating down on it a little bit because it's not the kind of whiskey that I want to drink. It's a bit basic for me, and for the sake of 23 quid, I mean, you can pick up the standard one for 15 quid very, very, very regularly. It sells normally online for about that same sort of price, but in the supermarkets you get it for about £15 to £18. This is not worth the extra for it unless, this is the big caveat, unless you're a big Borderlands fan. Then sure, you know, I mean, it's a cool looking bottle. If we're talking about that, so I don't normally talk about this, but if we're talking about that, it's a cool looking bottle. You know, it's got the Borderlands livery all over it. Sure, you can get a kind of reward for it as well, and it's just a fun little thing. And this is the main thing, just like the Johnny Walker. If this brings in a new slew of whiskey fans, I'm okay with it. You know, if this is you, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, who's this guy reviewing a whiskey that's clearly not meant to be reviewed like this, you're quite right. And I'm grateful for you for sticking around for the video for so long. But this is what this video is about for you, is that I'm glad that it's brought you here, because hopefully now you'll enjoy this whiskey, you'll try it, you'll put it up on your shelf, and it might make you think, oh, I might try something else now. And that's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for, to help you on that journey. You know, I started out exactly the same, drinking rough Scotch blends, supermarket blends, and slowly branched out until where I am today. So yeah, long story long, that's my point with this. If it's bringing in new people, if you love it, then brilliant. Please try more whiskies. If you hate it, fine. Please try more whiskies, because there's way better than this out there for a similar price. You know, I'm going to be covering later on in a couple of weeks' time a single cask from Master of Malt they sold for 20 quid, which is cheaper than this, and that blows this out of the water by a long stretch. There you go. So thank you very much for entertaining me while I do this Borderlands thing. This is going to go on my shelf. I will drink it. Not like that, the White Walker, which I had to end up tipping away, which I know is sacrilege to tip away good whiskey, but that ain't good whiskey. This one's okay. I will drink this and I'll enjoy it, fair enough. But I'll say cheers to you if you stuck around watching this long. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see you again for a proper whiskey review next week. Catch you later.